This conference will now be recorded.
Hello and good morning, guys. I'm Abhinav Sabharwal and I'm Principal Consultant and CEO at School of RPA. I have over 13 years of experience in robotic process automation uh, and in IT in general. And for last 3 years, I have been working in the field of RPA or robotic process automation. I teach, different RPA courses like Blue Prism, UiPath, or RPA Business Analyst course. But today, in this mini session, which I'm doing on behalf of LetsUpgrade, I'll be talking about different types of RPA robots. Let us look at what are the different type of robots that are there in field of RPA. Now, as you guys might already know or have some idea about, RPA or robotic process automation is a field where we use robots or software programs to help automate certain tasks. These are naturally used by small and large companies, and the tasks that are automated are mundane tasks. We do this to save time and improve the quality of the process. So the four types of bots that we use in the field of RPA are attended robots, unattended robots, chatbots, and virtual assistants. We will be looking at each one of these types of robots, and I'll be giving you a bit of information about what they are and what they do and what situations they are used in. I hope you will like my session. Let us look at our first candidate, that is attended robots. Attended robots. Now, these type of robots are usually resides on the desktop or local machine of the users. They are triggered by specific events at the command of users. So, as an example, an employee might come in, sit down at his desk, start his PC, organize the files that he wants the robot to work on, and then start the robot. By doing this, what he's doing is he's triggering the robot that is under his command. This is one of the major differences between attended and unattended robots. Attended robots needs to be started by employees specifically. They do not start by themselves. Also, attended robots require some amount of input from the users to complete the task they are given. Now, these type of robots are used in situations where employees are required to move between multiple interfaces or screens in a given transaction, such as in a call center. And it is because of this that attended robots must be very agile and user-friendly in order for an employee to use them. Attended robots relies on cooperation of employees. That is, they expect employees to give them some input before they can perform their task. Let us take an example and see how attended robots are used in call center. Assume I'm a call center agent and I'm on the phone with customer. At this point, I am taking some instructions from customer and I am trying to do the data entry. But it's not only one system where I am required to do the data entry. I am required to do the data entry on multiple systems. So if you look at this diagram, this is your call center agent, and these are the multiple programs where he or she might be required to work with. So you have your email, you have some folders, you have one CRM system and one billing system, right? So imagine a scenario where employee has to juggle between these four programs to fulfill the customer request. For example, customer might be asking, hey, I had sent you an email and I had requested the cancellation of my subscription. What happened to that? Did you do that? Call center agent might ask, okay, sir, when did you send the email? He will then go and search the email, right? Then he will juggle between, the CRM system as well as the backend, another backend system, to see whether the request was put there by different employee or not, or what is the status of the request. Now, all this becomes very difficult, when there's a huge volume of requests coming in day out. Imagine the life of an employee that is processing these requests every 3 minutes, right? So every 3 minutes, new call is coming in, same kind of request, same people, and you have 4 or 5 windows open on your laptop or desktop, and you're juggling between them. This becomes really, really difficult, guys. And it is at this time that a robot can help the employee by automatically doing the data entry, while the customer care representative can focus all his efforts on talking to customer and resolve his complaint, right? So a transaction that previously used to take 15 minutes with the help of attended robots can be cut down to 3 or 4 minutes. This reduces the stress on employees. It also reduces the TAT or turnaround time and makes for happy customers, happy employees, and a profitable company. Now, let us look at our second candidate, that is unattended robots. Unattended robots. Now, these type of robots usually reside on servers. Employees do not have direct access to these kind of robots because they are on server, they are administrated by a system administrator. These type of robots usually do not require any kind of human intervention to perform their tasks. Their tasks are predefined and they usually get triggered by either by schedule or an event. So schedule can be, for example, my unattended robot that processes invoices gets triggered every day at 9 a.m. and works till 6 or 7 p.m. in the evening. During this time, the robot will monitor all the incoming emails to a predetermined email ID with the subject line invoice for processing. Whenever the robot detects the email in the inbox with the subject line invoice for processing, it will see if there's a PDF attachment with it. If there's an attachment, it will download that attachment, read the data, invoice data from the attachment, or automatically do the data entry into your backend SAP system or CRM system or whatever the system that may be there. So these bots do not require any kind of human intervention at all. Or you can have a bot that is monitoring the email or inbox 24/7 and acting as soon as the email comes in. Right? So these are your unattended bots. Now, unattended bots gives a greater scope for collaboration and communication, since administrator can modify their functions in real time and deploy them, on the fly. Most of the time, unattended bots are used where there is a batch processing, where we are, processing the huge volume of data in batches. So you have all these invoices coming in. They are not processed as and when they come in, but maybe, let us say every time 100 invoices get piled up, a robot will look at them and keep on processing them. So those 100 invoices might get piled up in 1 hour or half an hour or maybe one day. But a robot will do them in a batch process. So most of times, unattended bots are using processes that are rule-based, well-defined, and stable. This is very, very important because an unattended bot does not require human intervention. It requires processes on which they work to be very, very stable, unchanging, right? And have a standardized input. That means every invoice that is coming in to be processed by an unattended bot must have the exact same layout from where the robot is able to find the information. They are very, very good at reading the information using technologies like optical character recognition, or OCR for short, and doing the data entry kind of a job. They can actually do the transaction in a few milliseconds, which actually requires a human being to do in few minutes. So imagine that in a financial function, for example, let us say accounts receivable, a clerk receives invoices, which is supposed to enter the information in invoices into SAP system. That takes him about, let us say, 3 minutes, which is a reasonable amount of time. It will take about 30 seconds to do the same amount of job, right? So that is how powerful these unattended robots are. So guys, that was unattended robots for you. Unattended robots. Let us look at some of the differences between attended and unattended robot before we proceed further. Now, attended robots are mostly desktop automations. They share the keyboard human interface with a human being, right? So that means attended robot as well as the human being is sharing the same keyboard control. These are mostly kind of scripts that are run by human being and are triggered by human being. And these are called desktop attended robots. We also have something called off desktop attended robots. These robots have their own workstation or machines. They interact through any digital interface like email, SMS, forms, chatbots, and can process sensitive data without exposure to human auditability between robot and human beings. But they still require a human being to trigger to them, and that is why they are called off desktop attended robots. And then you have purely unattended robots. These robots do not require any form of human intervention. They can carry out their work independently based on schedules or triggered events, like receiving an email. They have their own workstations, which are secured. They have their own user ID and passwords, and they actually maintain an audit trail for compliance and governance. Let's come to number 3, the third type of robots, that are virtual assistants. Now, these are everywhere nowadays. They are on your phones, on your TV, on your remote control for TV as well. And I'm sure most of you guys have used at some point or other the virtual assistants. On Apple iPhone, it's Siri. On Google, it's OK Google. Or you have Amazon's Alexa. Or on Microsoft Windows, you have Contra. So on the right hand side of the slide, you see a diagram that basically is descriptive of uh, things a virtual assistant can do. Now, this diagram basically shows you the capability of virtual assistants. This can include booking your flight tickets, playing your music for you, maintaining your appointments, sending out the emails, making dining reservations, telling you weather or availability of hotel rooms in your area, alarm, an appointment reminder, or even they can chat with you. These are very, very sophisticated program, guys, and they actually have multiple technologies integrated together in them. That works together to make this happen. Now, usually virtual assistance programs or bots do tasks that have historically been performed by a personal assistant or a secretary. These include, like I said, dictation, reading text or email messages, looking up phone numbers, scheduling, booking plane tickets or transportation, and booking appointments to restaurants or other places. Like I previously said, you must be very familiar with the virtual assistants like Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, Contra, right? These are now used everywhere. Now, a virtual assistant actually has 4 different technologies working together. These are text to speech, natural language processing, system integration, and networks. right? So what happens when I tell my Alexa to play a song? There are four things that happens. First, Alexa listens to my voice, and that is, I'm not giving it a command. I'm just speaking in an everyday voice, right? So I say something like, "Hey Alexa, play the song Kabhi Kabhi," right? So the first thing that Alexa does is records my voice and analyzes. Then it converts that voice into text. So this is where speech to text technology comes in. Then it sends that request to a backend system, right, where it is analyzed and scanned for common keywords. So the keyword play, song, and then song name will be extracted from the particular sentence, and then accordingly a song will be played. But where does the song is played from? So it is played from the song library of Amazon, right? So in this scenario, Alexa, to carry out my task, Alexa has to integrate four different technologies. I might ask a question to Alexa also, and Alexa will reply. In this case, there's another technology that is text to speech. That is the opposite of speech to text, right? So all these technologies must work together to make a virtual assistant actually carry out your command. So guys, that was about virtual assistants. These are very sophisticated programs, although we might not see them that way. They actually integrate multiple technologies within the systems. And as far as RPA is concerned, virtual assistants is the most difficult technology to create, right? We don't see it as a users, but on a backend, these are very, very huge systems, require huge amount of processing power, and quite a big servers that must continuously analyze data to better understand how users create their request. Let us now move to the last type of RPA, which are called chatbots. I'm sure every one of you has encountered the chatbots once, at least once. They're everywhere, whether you are trying to book the ticket or you are want to know your status of your order on Swiggy or Zomato, or you are in your office and are looking for some mundane thing like the status of your leave application or form 16. So that is where the chatbots comes in. Now chatbots are the software application that uses AI and natural language processing to understand what a human wants and guides them to their desired outcome with little work for the end user. They are like a virtual assistants, but the only thing is they are less sophisticated than virtual assistants, and these are typically used in dialogue systems. For example, customer service, request routing, or information gathering. Now, most of the time, chatbots have a limited use and scope, and a lot of time people even don't like them. People like to actually speak to a real human being. Uh, Not always true, because people do like virtual assistants, but chatbots have a very, very limited application, right? But they are very useful when you are doing a very mundane task where the user input is required, but the task is not very complex. For example, I just want to know the status of my ticket or my leave application, and there are only limited ways user input can be given, right? So that is where the chatbots are usually deployed. These chatbots actually save a lot of time and money, because otherwise you will have to have a human employees do these mundane tasks which most people don't actually like to do, right? Imagine being in a HR in a company where your only job is to respond to queries of employees about their leave status, form 16, or whatever the mundane thing that might be. Not very interesting, and how long you're going to do that, right? So that is where the chatbot comes in. So the advantage chatbot offers is, first, they are available 24/7. They are less sophisticated program, but they can be easily created and deployed on different types of systems. They can usually guide the user to the desired outcome without much of a hassle, and get the job done. So guys, that was chatbots for you. Now, chatbots are of two types. Some are more sophisticated types, which uses AI and natural language processing, and they get better with time. So the more requests a bot handles, the better the bot gets. And there are some kind of chatbots that are integrated with human beings also. For example, a bot will try to process your request on its own, but if it does not or is not able to process that request, it will simply pass a request to human being. It will still keep on monitoring your conversation, guys, to understand how the request was processed and learn from it. So next time for the same request, it will not require the human being's help. On the other hand, you have dumb chatbots that have limited responses, and they just scan the keywords. So there's no AI or anything going on. They just scan the keywords, common keywords, and have predefined actions that they can do. So those are like dumb chatbots, and that is what was mostly most of the time it is deployed. So guys, that was our last type of bots that called chatbots. I'm ready to take any questions now you might have, and this video is actually going to be premiered on YouTube, and I will be taking live questions. I'll be there with to chat with you, and I'll be taking questions and answering them in the chat. You can also reach out to me. Thank you guys for watching this video and my premiere, and thank you for LetsUpgrade for giving me this opportunity. Goodbye.